Do you know truckers' taxes? Do you know how to prepare a proper schedule for someone in the industry of transportation? Well, yes. Yes, of course I do. You should be able to if you are an enrolled agent and tax preparer and service the public at large in the area of tax preparation and also representation for resolution. The question that's asked by the client or potential lead for a business is, do you do truckers, quote unquote, taxes? What's meant by that is, do you understand? Do you get it? Do you know what the hell's really going on out here? And to translate it in numbers, it's simply saying, and I don't know this particular person's situation, but it's simply saying if you get paid $100,000 gross, but 75% of what you make is fuel, scales, repairs, maintenance, upkeep, 2290s, highway tax, and then other expenses, that $100,000 does not look the same. In fact, I've had this statement made to me over many years, and many people in the industry will verify this statement. Truckers, at the end of their frustration, sizable tax debt, will often make the statement, I should have been working at Walmart. Paul, I should have been working at Walmart. What they mean by that, and I have no affiliation with the great Walmart, but other than to say, these gentlemen are right, these ladies are right, in that when they penciled it out for them, there was a tremendous cost to what appeared to be a good gross or a profitable career. Because by the time the expenses were calculated and the time away from one's family, which has a cost that cannot be calculated, it was not worth it for those individuals to continue in the field. Which is a shame, because in truth, the trucker, the long haul trucker, the regional trucker, people in the field of trucking, they're kind of the last of the wild west spirit, Americana. I mean, I grew up right down the street from a truck stop. It's called Midway Truck Stop. Anyone that knows me will tell you directly. It's right off Highway UU, I-70, halfway between St. Louis and Kansas City in the great state of Missouri. You learn a couple things when a truck stop is your home. It's what you do. There's nothing out there. If you've been there, there's nothing. My street was created by a farmer who cut 2 streets in his cornfield. That's where I grew up. So to go up to the truck stop and play Miss Pac-Man, and here we go dating myself again, was awesome. Awesome. You lose track of time. You sit there. There's meals. There's people to watch. You learn so much. I mean, first of all, I don't know if this is still true. I'm sure that they've cleaned this up, because this was the old way it was for old people to refer to that young people cannot Google. But the first thing you learn is that at that time, the hookers would show up around 9 o'clock at night. And you could tell a lady of the night as a kid at a truck stop with we'll just say the boys waiting. So there's people that know truckers' taxes, quote unquote, and there's people that know truckers and truckers' taxes. That's me. In fact, I prefer to stop here. I filled up already. You can look around my cab. I don't care. I got my little reinforcements and stuff I need when I'm traveling. You can look back here and see, you got myself packed up. And we're at the truck stop. Which, by the way, you can get really good coffee here. Okay, so I've had to take out loans recently on my travel for my morning Joe and a bread that they heat up. This is nice to pay a reasonable amount. I think it was $2.40 for this coffee. Yeah, $2.40. Okay, so when I'm out in the out and about, I'm looking for the truck stop all the time versus a commercialized sign that says we service the same coffee. If you are following, now here's what's interesting. This is just an observation because I don't know if you can even truly see with all the lights here, but we're border Arizona, California. Cost of gas is what you are viewing. I assure you, when we get to Southern California, the cost will be very different. And I'm betting, if I bought here and sold at the price of California, I'd make, a couple dollars a share. And that's unfortunate because from my understanding, I'm not a car and I don't know the internal combustion that well, but it's the same gas. At any rate, when you're asked, do you know truckers' taxes? Yes, you need to know about the deductions. You also need to know about the person. Because besides the job of an enrolled agent, preparing taxes, negotiating with the IRS, helping people get into compliance, simple stuff. The bulk sum of my job after that entails talking to men and women who are out there for us. It says we just press and Amazon shows up, but that person is the one that does the labor. And when I develop a relationship with that person and I have to, say, hey, look, is this really what you want to be doing? Because here is what you owe. After all that, in a lot of cases, because, for instance, you did not have health coverage. You couldn't afford it. You're 1099, but you're required to have health coverage. If not, you are penalized and have to pay. It's called an SRP, Shared Responsibility Payment. There were many years after the passage of the Affordable Care Act where not just truckers in this instant, any 1099 worker, contractor that did not have health insurance was faced with this SRP. It's a penalty for not being able to afford health coverage when you are 1099. For a few years there, I saw people rack those up. And unfortunately, it's still a part of our tax code, this penalty. I'm not certain that anyone at this truck stop would select not to have health coverage. It's a matter of economics, really. So when a client comes to me and they say, Paul, I couldn't afford my health insurance. I go, I know. How could you? Do you have a money machine at your house? Are you just creating it? I mean, I looked at your budget. There's no way you can afford it. And then also you have a $2,000 penalty or whatever the equivalent amount for their earnings would be for that particular year. So it's like a double slap in the face. You don't have what it is you need, would pay for if you had the money. And then you have a bill to go with it, like, just here you go and take this. Meanwhile, we don't want to comment on others as a way to justify what is wrong with us. But it is an empirical fact that many corporations don't pay any tax. Why would I belittle another American citizen who had the benefit of a few credits to show the point that my truckers, who are all in the same boat with that same citizen that is receiving W-2 benefits or earned income credit benefits, are the same? I wouldn't do that. No. There needs to be a better look by those that should know better. They should. At really what people are going through. There cannot be a one-size-fits-all broad stroke. And that is what it is. Because what ends up happening, and it's unfortunate, there's a collateral damage that a lot of times ends up being the people that most, for lack of a better term, are this country. You can't tell me there's not a wild, wild west spirit to shooting across the country and up and down and bringing stuff to people. And we press our little enter button and here they come. I woke up at a truck stop about an hour ago, but I was just too tired in between my two destinations. And of course, there's the truckers there and, the people that are at a truck stop in the middle of the night. So it's a whole lifestyle that a lot of folks are simply not accustomed to. I grew up under it. I love it. My mom raised me to appreciate the rest stop and all the things that could go on there. And like I said, the truck stop for me was the mall, before the mall was the mall. So I know truckers and what they go through. I also know that our government can do a lot better, because it's not about it's not about anything other than fairness. If you can't afford health coverage and you want it, and you're penalized for not having it, that's a tax on your body. And I don't know how you feel about that, but what I feel is that if for instance, this gentleman were to call me and say, Paul, I have a $10,000 penalty because for 5 years I was paying child support. I had to make sure it was done, but couldn't have my own health coverage. I made that decision. It was A or B. My budget only held those two items. I made the decision I made. Paul, help me. What am I to say to that man? Huh? Next time, don't take care of your child? I'm not a political guy. I'm just a person with a heart that speaks to a lot of real people on the phone for a long time now. And I'll tell you, right is right, wrong is wrong, and that's just the way it is. But I speak and have a special place in my heart for truckers, because I know what they go through. And I also know how people view them. And I guess it's the old adage that don't judge a book by its cover. Some of the best people I've ever met and friends that I've had for my whole life are truckers. A very unique perspective on that which is we, the people. But if you're going to represent truckers, you should absolutely know a little bit about truckers. Certainly, you should be well versed as to the deductions and schedules that apply to their particular situation and what are the industry standards and norms, as well as anything worth fighting for that is a statistical anomaly. A COVID in 2020 shutting down transportation, or any number of things that affect truckers. So, as you see, We're not so unhinged over here. We're not so counterculture. We have our own culture. In fact, we're proud Americans. So there's a place for us all. There's a policy that can be adapted and changed to benefit the global society of us. Us. Not just a broad stroke that unfortunately sometimes is the surgical knife that cuts these men at their throat. Because I saw that. And that's not right. Of course we all want health coverage. And if we're giving it out, when you tote that rock and then give that rock to everybody, you should have a health plan, shouldn't you? Well, I'm dipping around a little political area that I should steer clear from. But there's nothing political about taking care of an American citizen that works hard. Not to the unhinged enrolled agent. God bless.